Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is the State of the Saviour address, because I kind of feel like, on the Dark Saviour side at least, the series is in a state of flux at the minute. There's a stability concern as it pertains to the stories. One character in particular, that character being Dezarrakks. Now, I'm an English guy, but as you can probably tell, I try to avoid using the English accent because, for most of my characters, because I don't... The series is set in Gotham and Metropolis, America, so I try to avoid using my English accent because otherwise it'll just become a case of too many English people abroad.
That's it! Game's over! Step along, nothing to see. Get going before my good mood wears off. That means now!
Thanks, Joker. So yeah, I try to use American accents for my characters. I try to make the characters American so they fit in more. Obviously, there are some exceptions. Zoe can't do an American accent, therefore any character she voices, like Flow Girl, or Annie Sutton, or Hashtag, or anybody that she voices will have an English accent. It'll be the same with Wilf when he brings his Altari character into the series. I don't mind there being a few, because, you know, it creates diversity, but I tend to go American with my characters, just so they seem to fit in more. And it's hard to find American voice actors to help me with this. It's even harder to find female voice actors or voice actresses with American accents to help me with this. I had a friend doing the voice of Terrania. Terrania is no longer part of the series. I will stress with this video that I am not going into any he said, she said. I'm not passing blame around anywhere. This is just the situation that I find myself in. We're in the Taylor & Taylor office at the minute, by the way, in colour, and that is his Saviour costume that you've only seen in black and white. There it is in colour, still retains the Dezarrakks red and black. Couple of upgrades to the office, chalkboards, some files on the wall, that kind of thing. No big deal. So yeah, Terrania isn't part of the series anymore. I kind of felt the character was going nowhere. That's why I dropped her. I've got a kitchen as well, by the way. Yeah, sort of. This is a current setup for my base for Saviour and Son that I've just recorded. There's Bradley's, my son's character, who is Dezarrakks' son in this alternate universe. That's his little room. Dezarrakks has his office, TV, piano. I can't play the piano for shit, so don't expect me to be playing that. What was that? Yeah, Terrania, the character just didn't take off. I had all these plans for it, but it just... I don't know, plans changed, and the character just seemed to fall by the wayside. And it's a shame, but again, it is what it is. It's no one's fault. The other character that was voiced by an American voice actress was Dezgirl, Betty. And there's a problem there because I haven't received any Dezgirl lines in a while. Now, the voice actress that does it is a professional. She might be very busy, for all I know.
What?
My main issue
Can
is
a guy catch a break?
the communication. I'm not getting any, very little communication back in the last few weeks. And I sent the last script weeks ago, and I don't know, it just feels like honestly, I can't see the partnership continuing. I just can't. Because there seems to be... she's probably busy with other things and she's got bigger projects to deal with as opposed to my little YouTube series. Like I said, she's a pro, so she's going to go where the money is and where the best recognition goes. And, you know, fair play. But, like I said, I can't see it continuing. This is the pentacle bar, by the way, that I hope to use in Season 4. A little dive place where Dezarrakks worked before he got his exabyte powers. Like he mentioned in the pilot, he was a bartender. This was all rustled up in the last seasonal, St. Paddy seasonal. I just can't see the partnership with this voice actress continuing. And it leaves me in a bit of a fucked spot, because what do I do with Des Girl? I've just brought her in. I can't kill her off because that negates the season finale, the impact of that, and the last episode, Hive 2, where finally reveals she's got powers. And she did the Hive mission with her brother, and after being shot in the spine, I can't kill her off. Because it renders everything I've done for the character meaningless. Which leads to one option of recasting, which is going to be a bitch of a task in and of itself, because it was really hard to find a voice actress for Betty. And I honestly don't know what I'm going to be doing, because she's a crucial character, Des Girl is. And I do have an idea that could work, but it's getting to that position, and it's a bit of a drastic idea, which after everything she's just been through, I feel it might be too much at once. But again, my hand might be forced. I may have to go with that if I want the series to continue. And it basically involves giving her an English accent in a bit of a dramatic way. Not, oh, well, she's just English now. No, I will explain it. And, like I said, too much too soon, that might be the case, but it might be necessary. Honestly, but I've got to get to that point, and that's the problem, and I don't feel... The series has stalled. It's fucking stopped. I'm not moving anywhere with it. I could write Des Girl out temporarily, but because I could easily write her out of the next episode of Dark Saviour, Secrets Exposed, but she plays a pretty key role in the Dark Saviour Cougar Man crossover, the Cougar Man episode, The Brave and the Bold. Des Girl's presence is pretty much...
Help! What are you supposed to be?
Shut up.
Costumed freak?
I should have turned the voice down as well. Des Girl's presence is like where most of Cougar Man's humour comes from in that episode. And I don't think, I mean, I think the story's strong enough, but it would be more of a, even more of a, I dare say, a Dark Saviour episode with Cougar Man in, if I would take out all the little things that make it a Cougar Man episode. Because it does need to be it's Cougar Man's episode. It needs to be a Cougar Man episode, not a Dark Saviour episode featuring Cougar Man. It needs to be a Cougar Man episode featuring Dezarrakks and Des Girl. And I mean, once I've got those two episodes out the way, if need be, I can go with my plan and write Des Girl out, send her to a different city for a bit. She could be reassigned temporarily. I mean, Terrania has been reassigned. That's her storyline exit. Des Girl could be a bit more in depth with a view to bringing her back. She's a university student. She could be trying out different, news outlets, and send her to a place like she could be working with Black Canary in Star City. I don't know. There's options there, and then I can bring her back and do the whole dramatic thing to change her voice. It's just getting to that point. I actually do kind of like the idea that I've got for the whole Des Girl changing accent thing. It's more than just changing the accent. But again, it's drastic. And, you know, give the girl a break, she's just been shot, for fuck's sake. But honestly, I'm not opposed to doing it. I'm just opposed to doing it so soon. That is my main issue. So right now, I feel like there's an exhibit that I haven't seen. Where are you? Up in here, yeah. There it is. I feel like the series is stalled. On the Dark Saviour side, at least. Because that's the beauty of the thing I do. There's fucking loads of exhibits around here, isn't there? Anybody want any bits? Kind of picking up a few here. Yep. The beauty of what I do is I have a multiverse of different Dezarrakks characters. As you can see, this guy, this is my PS4 Dezarrakks. He's my stunt Dezarrakks. He operates as both a body double or a stunt double for... Oh, Jesus Christ. No, he doesn't operate as a stunt double for Jesus Christ. But a stunt double for the Dark Saviour Dezarrakks. And, yeah, I could probably even use him as a Steel Saviour, should a crossover ever occur. And he's also, as I said earlier, he's in his Saviour getup. From Taylor & Taylor. And that's the other thing that I want to come to. Just because there's no Dark Saviour in the foreseeable future, which to me personally is, I don't want to say heartbreaking, I think that's a bit of an extreme term, but it is very disappointing. I'm disappointed, I feel like I'm going to be disappointing people, but a show must go on, if you will. And I've got Taylor & Taylor Part 2 that I'm working on now. Steel Saviour, the release of Steel Saviour 2 is dependent on the, do you like what I've done with my armour is there? I've kind of put them behind a little thing, I've got me on a little costume vault with Minotaur gates. The whole thing with Steel Saviour, it's like Steel Saviour 1. I think the main thing of that was, you know, Stunshock was Dezarrakks' friend and ally in there. In a way different to how he is in Dark Saviour. But I still needed to get the Stunshock reveal out of the way in Dark Saviour before I introduced him in Steel Saviour. It's the same with another character for Steel Saviour 2. There's a character that shows up in Steel Saviour 2 that I need to get out the way on Dark Saviour, if you will. There's another character that I created on the EU PC side first that will be in Steel Saviour 2 as well, but that isn't as important. Having said that, there's still a couple of Steel Saviour things I can do. It doesn't have to be Steel Saviour 2, it can be something set in between. I've got an idea for that. I could work on Saviour and Son, which again I'm keeping unlisted because there's stuff that's reliant on Dark Saviour. The Dark Saviour, I mean, I try and treat every version as an equal, yet Dark Saviour is probably considered my prime Earth. Yeah. That's Vegetunks in the middle. He shows up every now and then, but he comes back, and that's cool. Dezarrakks. I've got 3 versions of Dezarrakks on the EU side. 3 adult versions, anyway. So I've dressed them all up in different versions of the outfit. So I've got the Dark Saviour look there, and then there's the Taylor & Taylor look there. And have I got one anywhere? That isn't Cougar Man, that is Schmackdown. That's Bollocks 2, that's the Sun in Saviour and Son. And this is my big multiverse wing. And that's where I keep all my I keep all my auras, that's some of my auras. You've seen how many characters I've got in the series, you should know how many auras I picked up. I didn't even have to broker that shit. So yes, that's pretty much what I've got. I've got some stuff I can do on the Steel Saviour side. I've got stuff I can do on the Dark side. I can't do anything. My 15 minutes was up then. As I said, I can't do anything on the Dark Saviour side. But I can still do Taylor and Taylor. I can still do Saviour and Son. I can do something on the Steel Saviour side. I can get to work on my Green Lantern Dezarrakks stuff, because he's shown up in Nightwing's Beyond. And there will be an origin story for him. It'll take place before the it's interesting because the end of the Green Lantern Dezarrakks story is the start of his debut episode in Nightwing's Beyond. So yeah, that good times there. And I've got a couple of other versions of Dezarrakks that I may want to introduce. So there's stuff I can be doing, but I think the thing that really grinds my gear, sticks in my craw, whatever the word is that this is where it all started. And right now this has stopped, and there's nothing I can do about it. Got my little sleeping area. Yeah, maybe not for the League members, but for all them scientists that you see down here. You know, that they need a bed, don't they? So, you know, I'm considerate to them. And so that's the main issue, is that I can't work on Dark Saviour. I mean, I could do the 4th episodes of each series. Cougarman Dark Saviour. I'm building an octagon. This is my like training area. So these villains that we've captured can watch the Justice Realm train and be like, oh, we're gonna have some more people in the cell because they're tearing the place up. I just thought it'd be a nice laugh. Got the idea from Creature. I think he built like a cage in his base for something. A lot of my ideas I get from other people. Maybe I'll steal them in a way, but yeah, I wanted the cage. Bradley's room, thanks Fig, because he did a room for, like a child's room for one of his episodes. So I figured, yeah, I'll do something like that for mine. Yeah, Dark Saviour stalled. Other stuff I can do. Street Saviours is an interesting little concept that I've come up with that Mike seems to like. And I might work on that. There's stuff that I can be doing without doing Dark Saviour, but again, the disappointing thing is that that's where it started. That is the prime Earth, the prime show, if you will. There's a lot more of that stuff to do than there is on the other side. I've got a load of bottles here and a Kryptonian laser cutter. Dad's probably trying to break through and free the cities. This is Dad's with science area. And then if you look up here, I've got some. I'm giving you a bit of a tour as well, aren't I? Got some more bottles and stuff. So the claws take the bottles down, and then the bottles, and then Dad'll try and break into them and like release Candor and fucking Candactor and Christmas Town here and stuff. Anyway, I think I'm about done in terms of this video. I'm not done by a long shot. I'm just stuck at the minute. Yeah, it looks like I'll be recasting Des Girl. I'm just hoping I can get to that point where I can logically recast Des Girl, because right now on the Dark Saviour side we're stalling and I hate it, but silver lining, look on the bright side, I can do stuff with this version of Dezarrakks, the green version of Dezarrakks, the steel version of Dezarrakks, the dad version of Dezarrakks. There's plenty of other stuff I can get on with. I can be getting on with, even though I noticed I didn't say that right, sorry about that. I think that pretty much does it. This League Hall is to be introduced soon. You've already seen I guess the reason I'm giving it a tour now is because it's kind of like a running gag going forward. You know, they never actually get the full tour of the League Hall, the Sanctum as I call it. So you know, I'm showing you right now. Here he is, the Green Lantern Dezarrakks. His statuary isn't quite updated, but yeah, story for him coming. I've got a couple of stories for him actually, and yeah, he will have a big role in a lot of things in on the Dezarrakks side of the DCUO cinematic multiverse. So, stay tuned. Just no Dark Saviour stuff for a while. I'm sorry. The idea that I've got for Des Girl, I think, is pretty good, actually. Because, you know, I do want to at least give a storyline explanation for why it should suddenly be English. Again, I just think it's a bit too soon. After recovering from a gunshot, becoming Des Girl, and then having to go to this potential scenario, it's, you know, it is what it is. So, I don't know, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I'm going to sign off now, and just, yeah, you shall see me next time.